Help me find the right words to say to get us back on our way. Can we try to fight against the grain of throwing out what we made? The future's far away, but I will stay, because I feel again, I feel again, oh now I feel again, we're bringing this back to life. We're picking up where we left off and on again. We never quite could forget, 'cause what we got so intense. I feel it again, I feel it again, I feel again. We're bringing this back to life.
Better off as strangers. Believe me when I say, loving me is loving danger. Your heart is bound to break. I walk alone in the night, beneath the pale moon, loving's for the fools. Baby, beware of my bite. I'm alone, I'm alone, I'm a lone wolf. 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 I'm a creeping through the shadows and the corners of your mind. I go where the wind blows. I run but I don't hide. I hear the call of the wild, whispering the name. No, I can't be tamed. My heart belongs to the night. I'm alone, I'm alone, I'm a lone wolf. 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 I'm a
Alright, guys. Sorry about that. Yeah, I'll still run my VPN. Alright. So, I have made also another video that will be going up today. It's about something similar. So, we won't be talking about that. But we're going to talk about these riots because for the past week, I've been going down the rabbit hole on these riots. And I don't know about you guys, but something seems very suspect about said riots. And I want to go through and I want to talk about a couple of things. Now, I was hoping to have the advice of a medical profession. I won't say who or why, but just or what field. But let's just say they're very versed in one of these areas that we are going to be talking about. But unfortunately, I forgot to send the video and I was lazy. So, we're going to talk about that on stream. I did have a very quick chat to them about it. But maybe another video in the future. But sorry, I'm still trying to eat breakfast. But let's jump into it. Let's talk about these videos. Let's talk about what's going on with these riots, because I don't know about you guys, but something is very, very weird is going on. And I'm not just talking about just a pile of bricks that seemingly want to pop up every now and then. So, some of you may have heard, obviously, Project Riots has gone through and has done a bit of an expose on Antifa. They've gone through and they've, hey Raymond, how are you? And they've gone through and they've had a video, they've had 2 videos gone up. To be honest, I found the videos were a little bit blockbuster, block-lacquer? I'm trying to think of that word. Thanks, buddy. Yeah, we're going to talk about something that's really concerning, but we'll talk about it in a sec. But I found the videos from Project Riots were very lacking in substance. I'm trying to think of the term there. Blockbuster? Right? Yeah, sure, they go on, they show these fight clubs, and they show that Antifa is organised and stuff like that. Which is obviously great. They've also got this undercover person who's talking about how Antifa has been organised and stuff like that. It's great, but there's still bigger things that they could have shown. Like, for example, Antifa stabbing horses and stuff like that. I find that this is just... it's here nor there. It's already stuff that we've already known. Now, we also had this video that came out regarding the riots.
These Nazis are tormenting.
Now, this is a liberal or a Antifa protester, whatever you want to call it, who's been arrested for, obviously, for rioting and stuff like that. And we'll have a look at how she's carried on with it.
Keep scooting back for me, man.
Don't stand up for me, miss. These Nazis are tormenting our children.
Hey,
These Nazis are tormenting America's children.
it's okay. It's gonna be okay.
Where are the adults?
She's 18.
Where are our veterans? Where are our leaders?
Sir, she's having a
Are we
arrested. She's gonna
Our
pass out.
politicians.
Not getting arrested for paying respect.
What are
No,
they
but
doing
she's
right
having
now?
one.
Well,
Hey,
take
guys.
and
Are we
fascist
being
drugs
arrested?
brutalize our kids. They aren't letting
Hands
this
up,
young
guys.
woman have her dialysis.
She's my sister. I need to calm her down. She's having a panic attack. Excuse
They're not letting this young woman have her dialysis.
Sir.
These fascist kids
Sir.
are putting the lives of children at risk.
Keep scooting back.
Now, at the end of the day, personally, when I look at this, I saw a kid that just freaked out because she'd been arrested. Some rich white kid who has lived in a bubble, probably been giving participation trophies her whole life because she participated in awards. She's been going through and been cuddled her whole life. And now that she's realising that there's actual ramifications for what she's done, all of a sudden, the whole world's against her sort of thing. So, I'm not surprised the way she's carried on, and I think it's a sad reflect on how society is. Now, there's definitely two types when it comes to these protesting and these riots. The first thing is there's the protesters. They're the ones that are going out. There's literally three types. They're the ones that are peacefully protesting. They're just trying to, get some reform happening, whatever it may be. Don't agree with their view, but I'll protect their right for them to go out and protest. Second people are people like Antifa. And we've had them all around the world go through and just basically trying to start stuff. They're trying to gear up the police department. They're trying to go through, trying to start arguments, trying to start fights. They're trying to egg people on. They're agitators, they're professional provocateurs, and that's obviously the second group. And then the third group is just people that are just taking advantage of the situation and just want to rob everybody. Now, at the end of the day, this is what the media. Some did this for fun. Yeah, I'd agree with that. Yeah, to be a part of a group. So some people have just obviously thought they could profit off this. Hey, we could go through and steal some stuff. There's obviously not going to be any ramifications from it. Let's go through and let's get ourselves 6 flat screen TVs, for example. You've all probably seen the video where a guy's walking out with a shopping trolley and what looks like 6 TVs stacked on top of it. So I do think there are people that are going through who are just rioting or looting just because of the fact that they can actually go through and benefit from the situation. So there's those 3 types, right? You got the professional provocateurs. They're the ones that are starting all the fires, starting the attacks and everything like that. You got the ones that can benefit from it because of, 6 flat screen TVs. And then you've got the other ones that are trying to do the right thing by peacefully protesting and blah, blah, blah. Now, interesting thing was that we had a riot. We had a protest here in Australia. And it was supposed to be about this Aboriginal guy that was killed in custody some months ago, whatever. There's a whole lot of nuances to it. When you start digging into it, it doesn't really seem like it's a valid point. The guy was 300 and something pounds in the shade. He had diabetes, probably brought on by his excessive weight. And when it went through and they claimed he was killed in prison by the prison guards, when you look at it, he actually died of a heart attack, and they're suspecting that it was actually the diabetes that killed him. Yeah, like Raymond says, there's professional looters and rioters. They're the ones I would say were Antifa. Now, they're claiming that this was a Aboriginal man that was killed in Australian police custody. Sure, he died in police custody, but there was a whole bunch of nuances that went on. And like I say, you really start digging into it, it really still didn't look like it was going to make any serious... There's nothing really you could sit there and say the cops were brutal against him or whatever it may be. But here's the thing. The backers pulled out of the event. They said they were no longer wanting to do it. And I was trying to reach out to them to find out why, and I've still got to try and do that. But you're never surprised as to who took over running the organisation or running the event after they pulled out. Was the Communist Party of Australia. So you now have this Black Lives Matter organisation who has since pulled out of running the Black Lives Matter rally in Australia. And the people that now seemingly are backing the whole event was communism. Boy, that's a little weird, isn't it? And that's what we want to get into in this video. We want to talk about the real reason. Yeah, man. Yeah, sure. I'll be in Discord. You want to jump in, right? We're going to talk about the real reason why these events are happening. Why I think these events are happening. I'll be in general. And at the end of the day, what we actually think is actually going on. So, people are trying to make this and frame this as, for example, as some protests for example, claiming that it's about police brutality. Now, if that was the case, wouldn't we have riots and protests and stuff regarding all of police brutality? You know, obviously the major case that I can think of just recently, in the past couple of years, was that white Australian female, Justine, I think her name was, who was shot and killed by the black police officer. So if it's just about police brutality, why is it that they're not going through and they're not talking about her? You know, sure, she was shot by a black police officer, but at the end of the day, it's still police brutality, right? She was still killed by a cop. And it's something that you would think, if it's just about that, it's something that they would also be talking about. Ray, I'm in the Discord under general if you want to jump in anytime. So if it was just about that, then you'd think, okay, they would be talking about that. But they're not, right? So it's like, okay, so it's not really about just police brutality. And then I thought, well, maybe it's about politicals, right? And maybe it's about politics. But then we started getting these protests happening in New Zealand. And New Zealand was also having all these protests going on at the same time. Now, I don't know if you guys know this, but New Zealand's Prime Minister is extremely left-leaning, far left even, right? She's an Islam apologist. She's gone through, she's, you know, bent the knee to Islam and all this sort of stuff, right? She is far left. So you have these Black Lives Matter protests happening in a country that is literally far left. So it wouldn't really make any sense that they would be protesting their own. You would sit there and think, well, what's the point, right? So it's not about politics. So then I thought, well, maybe it's about black lives. But then you had that police officer, I think his name was Darren Dom, who was shot and killed by looters. Now, he was a black police officer, or ex-black police officer. Well, he's still black, but I mean ex-police officer, who had been... I'll look into BitChute. Okay. Yeah. But I was going to say, yeah, I'm in Discord. That's what you mean. Permission to come on board. Yeah. But yeah, I'm on BitChute if you want to jump on the show, man. I'll feel free to have you. But I was going to say, but yeah, if it's about the black lives, you think that police would matter. You know, at the end of the day, that they'd be talking about this police officer that was going through and was being shot. And it's like he's an example of a black life that was lost, right? And we've only just recently found out they're actually tracking 7 individuals that might have something to do with it. And of course now we've realised that they're all black and they were looting the situation. We knew they were looting, but we didn't know if they were black or white. So it's not like it's, hey Ellie, how are you, hun? It's not like they were sort of holding back on the whole, you know, not talking about him because they didn't know if it was a colour thing or anything like that. Like, he's literally a black police officer or a black person of the community who is seemingly loved by almost everybody, and here he is being gunned down, right? What if it's black lives that matter? Why are they not talking about him? So it's not that. It's not black lives. It's not politics because of New Zealand. It's not anything to do with police brutality because they're not talking about Justine or any of the other police brutalities. They're cherry picking their cases very quickly and very, very effectively. So there's something else that goes on. And this is where I started thinking, okay, if it's not about any of those, and we have the CCP or the Chinese Communist Party running the organisation down in Australia, what if this whole event, this whole riot that is going on right now, is actually about communism? Let me explain. Small businesses at the moment have been... Need to be louder. Really? Really louder? I got everything high on this. Yeah, everything's high on here. Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, I don't think I can turn myself up anymore. I think I'm already at max, but yeah. But I was going to say, but if it was about communism, right? So you've just had a whole bunch of small businesses that have been shut down for the past 3 months, right? Over in America and most of the world. They've literally on a knife's end. A lot of them have already gone bankrupt. A lot of them have already said that they're not going to be able to reopen or anything like that. So what happens? Like things are starting to turn around, things are starting to come back around, and all of a sudden, then we have a whole bunch of protesters, right? And these protesters are going through and literally trying they're robbing small businesses, they're looting small businesses. Sure, they looted a Target and everything like that, but it wasn't a lot of big businesses, like the Amazon fire, for example, right? I looked into that and I thought maybe it has to do with this whole protest, and no, it was unrelated to that. So it wasn't the Amazon fire. The Target they looted, fine, but it was a lot of small businesses. Now these small businesses, which also majority or a good half of them at least were black owned, so it's not like it was like white businesses or anything like that. But they were going through and looting a lot of small businesses. And I was sitting there thinking, these are small businesses that have already had to suffer through COVID-19. These are small businesses that have already had to endure 3 months of being shut down. And now they're going through and they're looking at another wave of insurance claims, of businesses being suspended, businesses being boarded up and everything like that, all because of these riots. And it seems like they were going after a lot of small businesses. And I started looking into the whole idea of, if you wanted to crash an economy, would it be something that you could do by attacking a lot of small businesses? And it definitely seems like it's something that definitely could lead towards that. And that's where I started going down the rabbit hole. And this is where things got a little interesting, because some of the things that I've found really are a little bit weird. Now, I'm not going to say it's a false flag, but there might be an argument to that, but we'll jump into that. Just to catch up on chat. Hey, I made it. Hey, Ellen, how are you? Need to be louder. Yeah, I'll try and talk a little louder for you, hun. The Black George was a thug who was assassinated by a counterfeit $20 bill set up. So, interesting that Derek actually talks about that. They were there supposedly for a $20 counterfeit bill. Now, the interesting thing was that the police officer, or something to do with the police officers that were involved, one of them was a ring-in from a different area. There was another police officer that had been there for a few days. The police officers that were around the situation where George Floyd was killed, one of them was Mexican, one of them was black, one of them was white, and the other was actually the one kneeling on him. There was a whole bunch of diversity around this guy, so it wasn't like it was race-baited or anything like that. The guy who was leaning on the back of George Floyd also worked with George as a bouncer on a nightclub. They were both bouncers on a nightclub store, so they actually knew each other. So that was interesting in itself. And then we started looking at the videos and what has actually gone on with some of the videos. And guys, it's pretty concerning, right? So let me find that video where right. So here's an interesting one. These bricks keep turning up. And this is the thing that was really, really weird. It was like, okay, well, why are these bricks turning up 2 or 3 days before an event? This is seemingly leaning towards the fact that this was staged. Now, this is something a lot of people have caught on to, right? So that's nothing big there. Everybody's sort of saying, well, why are these bricks being stacked up? And there's other situations where you can see these bricks as well. Let me see. The one thing I really wanted to show you guys is, we'll get all to this in a minute. I'm trying to find, I'm a little bit unorganized, sorry guys. And don't worry, we'll go through all this sort of stuff in a minute and we'll talk about a lot of this sort of stuff. Alright, that might be on my other... For some reason, I seem to have lost that there's a thread. So, profile, let's see if I can quickly find it. Now, of course, we've got police officers dancing with people now, which is just, you know, a TikTok thing. Why does everybody seemingly want to go through and do TikTok videos? So... wow, I can't find it. Have they deleted it? So here's another thing for you guys. Here's something else that's real interesting. Something for you to look at. It's more photos of bricks. They've actually deleted it. Wow, okay. Yeah, I figured that was going to happen. Let me find out. Here it is here, I think. They've actually removed it. It was on the conspiracy Reddit and they've removed it, I think. It was a guy that went through and broke down the whole situation, right? And he's black, which I don't know why it really matters these days, but apparently it does. But he went through and he had a look at the video and he was asking a lot of questions. Hey Ellen, do you remember if you've seen it on my tweet, if it was there? You and I retweet a lot of stuff to each other. I can't find it on Reddit. It's weird. We might have to do the analysis ourselves. That's no problem. We can do that. Alright, so let's go through and let's break it all down ourselves, because apparently on YouTube you're not allowed to have a different opinion. So, George Floyd's death. Right. I'm just trying to find the video where the cop's landing on his knee. I think even the guy that was tweeting about it has been removed. I haven't seen him post in a while. He was running against AOC. Let me have a quick look to see if it was in my replies. That's something else we want to talk about. That's something we want to talk about too. Sorry for the unorganisation, guys. It was here, but it's been removed. I'm just trying to find. I can't even find the guy who I followed back. I followed him back because he had a really good, interesting point about this. But I can't even find his Twitter account anymore. This is really weird. They ban him. I know he's running against AOC. No, we're just going to have to break it down ourselves. Oh no, here it is. Here he is. So he hasn't been banned. Looks like the subreddit has deleted that post. Wow. There was a subreddit talking about this, and it's gone. It's been deleted. Let's talk about this. Let's listen to what he has to say first, and then we'll break it down. We'll have to break it down ourselves, guys.
Can anybody give me a reason why the ambulance, the so-called ambulance workers, the EMS workers that came to pick up Mr. Floyd were wearing bulletproof vests, and why they weren't actually in ambulance gear? Can anyone explain that to me? Can anyone explain to me why the murderer of Mr. Floyd not only knew him but worked with him? Can anyone explain that to me? Can anyone explain to me, even though the department will tell you that's not their officer, he was placed somewhere else, he literally has his ex-wife, family members, and friends exposing him as the man that's destroying property? Can anyone tell me why you're not waking the fuck up yet? You are being controlled and manipulated by people that are within this deep state government, the Illuminati, New World Order, whatever it is you want to call them. But you're being manipulated by your news media and everybody else. Trust me. Any other cop in any other situation would have been arrested by now. There's a reason why everything is happening. Anybody can...
Alright, okay, so I just bumped it up a lot. So let me know. Yep, you remember that. Cool. So there was... Let me know if that's better for you guys. Ellen was saying I was a little bit quiet, so let me know. But here's the question I do have to ask. So when I saw this, I thought, okay, this is weird. What is he talking about, right? Why is he talking about the fact that George Floyd, the ambulance guys were wearing bulletproof vests? And there was an actual post on r/conspiracy that was actually talking about this. It is subsequently gone. So I got to learn to archive things. I know. But So George Floyd ambulance workers wore bulletproof vest. Okay, oh, I found it. It's in the archive section. Alright, okay, we might be under here something. Here we go. Alright, so let's have a look at this. This might be it here. So, EMS worker who lit on George Floyd's body are actually more cops. Built in different uniforms, wearing bulletproof vests. Come on, give me the video. I'll tell you what, someone is trying to block this video from getting out there. You've got to be kidding. God, they're going... Okay, they're going really hard on this. Let's try that. Okay. I'll tell you what, someone doesn't want this video getting out there. Alright, so let's talk about it. Great, thank you. Alright, cool. So here's the situation with George Floyd, right? Let's back it up. Here is...
Look, fam, I know this is hard to watch.
Here is one of the cops here who's obviously blocking him. Here he is checking a pulse. Here's obviously the guy who's, by the way, still got his knee on the guy's neck after he's already lost consciousness. Right? So my first question is this.
They're pulling the...
Is why are you still leaning on a guy's neck after he's unconscious? Hey Mississippi, how are you? How are you, Lee? But yeah, so why are you still leaning on his neck? He's unconscious at this point, right? Why are you still leaning on his neck?
Ernie out right there, as you can...
That's the first question I have to ask. Now here's the thing, here's the question that everybody needs to be looking at, right? And we'll show you in a sec. Right? Cops, obviously they got like a vest or something on. That's fine. That's great. Terrific. Whatever. Here's the EMS guys. Here's the ambulance guys here in the background. Right? He's setting up the gurney bed. He's gone over to Floyd. And we're just waiting. There. Ask someone answer me this question. Why does this ambulance driver seem to have a bulletproof vest on? That to me right there, that looks like a bulletproof vest. So why the hell is he wearing it? He's supposedly an ambulance driver, right? Now, I've checked the ambulance gear that he's got on. Seems legit, right? But it's stuff that you can get off the street. Why is an ambo being pulled out to a scene? By this stage, there's no riots going on. Why is there a bulletproof vest on an ambulance driver? Now, you guys over in the US, you might be able to ask me this question, answer this question for me. Have any of you seen an ambulance driver who's just been called out to a dead drop wear a bulletproof vest? Yeah, we'll get to the plate in a sec there. Also, yeah, Ellen's also caught onto the plate, so. But when have you ever seen an ambulance driver or a medic wear a vest? What the hell is going on here? Why is he wearing a vest? Now, obviously not only that, but the way he is treating the body. Someone else mentions in this thread here that at the end of the day, he's not checking for a pulse. He's not going through and doing any of the standard stuff that you would expect an EMT to do. Like here. Yeah, put onto a gurney like that. That's what I was going to say too, right? That's the other question I do have. So here he is here, right? Now, they're not supporting his neck. He's supposedly got neck problems, right? He's had some guy leaning on his neck. You think he would have some sort of trauma to the neck. And they're just dragging him onto the gurney? I don't know. It seems really weird. It seems like it's like this guy's first day. He doesn't even know seemingly how to get a body onto a gurney, let alone he's wearing a bulletproof vest. He's not checking any of the vital signs or anything like that. Like, here he is, right? This is when he turns up. He puts the gurney there, fine. He's put it down. He's made it out nice to be nice and pretty and all that sort of stuff. Great time wasting. Blah blah blah. Right? Puts the gurney on the ground. Kicks the wheels over, mind you. So now he's had to reposition the gurney for a start. And then they just proceeded going to drag the body onto the gurney. It's just really this is someone's bad actors. It is really odd, and I do have someone that I have contact with who is actually a trained paramedic, and I want to send them the video, and I want to get their view on this. Right now, obviously she is in Australia, but that's all I'm going to say about that. But I want her professional opinion on the way the body has been treated here. Because to me, this looks weird. There's no checking for pulse. Now, they claim the police officer's already done it. Okay, but if I was an EMT, I would be checking for a pulse. Also, if I was an EMT, and some guys just had neck trauma, I would be putting a brace around the neck to support the neck, or at least trying to support. He tries to support the head a little bit, but I don't know. The whole situation just seems like it's like someone says, the bad acting. And not only that, but you have a look at the police car. The police number plate is literally police. Like, okay, that's a realistic possibility. Maybe, okay, fine, maybe. But, and it's just the whole situation, it doesn't seem to make any sense. Entire conversation, here we go. So let's go through and let's have a look at this. So, EMC, happening to wear light brown shirts and dark pants, so does not match the light brown flak vest. So the wardrobe is correct. So we know the wardrobe is correct, right? I'm really disturbed by the way they flopped Lloyd onto the gurney. No CPR, no bag, no collar. Seems unusual. I'm from Minnesota and been in the HF ambulance for more than once, and they never do stuff like this. They check me out and talk to me to see how I'm doing or if I need to get to the ambulance. This man is unconscious and flopping around, and they don't even check his pulse. He's breathing nothing. That's what I'm saying. There was no checking of pulse, of breathing or anything like that, right? They just flopped him onto a gurney. They don't talk to any of the cops to see what's happening. They run him, flop him, and leave. Like, what WTF is so weird. There's kneeling on his neck where he's already dead. I hate how many murder videos I see on my time. Blah, 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 blah. Right, okay. With handcuffs still on. Is he still got his handcuffs on still? It looks like they've still got the handcuffs on him. Yeah, they do. Do they? can see the silver there. There, the silver. So one Google EMT, that's the uniform. So we know that's right. EMTs wear vests. They're exposed to dangerous situations all the time. Are they though? Do they wear vests? Because, yeah. What we find weird is the police cruiser on the tag. I've never seen that in my city or other cities. It's usually a white tag with a few numbers, or has been a norm in Metropolitan before. This could be a standard procedure for rendering medics aid to a suspect. Yeah, I don't know. I haven't seen the original video, but in this video I noticed what appears to be a stream of urine have come from George Floyd. Anybody else? They said that he had died at the hospital. Here's the question. Here's the one I read earlier. I've worked in emergency for 30 years in Europe. Now, this is obviously Europe, right? So, yeah. This is against all rules. First, you do not quickly assess on the spot. And someone with possible neck trauma, i.e. someone leaning on their neck for the past, 8.5 minutes, I think it was, needs to be stabilized before transferring to a gurney. They never even checked his vital signs, pulse, breathing, consciousness. Totally out of the normal. EMT should be brought in too for questioning in this case. I think because, they could have a case more damaged. Yeah. This is not right. Something's not right here. EMTs handling the body of their patient differently. Check the pulse better, longer, compression, some type of... See, that's the thing I have, right? At the end of the day, if he was unconscious, why are they not putting a bag on him? Why are they not trying to resuscitate him? Right? That's the question I have. I don't know about you guys, but, this is just, real... we get this sort of stuff happening. And then we have bricks that are literally piling up all around the city, right? There's a pile of bricks there. There's literally people unloading bricks in this photo. You have a police cruiser that is overseeing a forklift that is unloading the bricks. Yeah, I don't know. Floyd's family's come out and they've been very much saying, don't write in his name and stuff. So they've been actually downplaying it a little bit, to be honest. But here's a police cruiser watching them deliver bricks. Now, obviously, at the end of the day, this is the this is a guy's reaction to the whole defund the police. So we'll talk about this for quickly.
I need the American people to understand something, okay? You are letting the Illuminati,
Quickly, get a drink.
Order, deep state win. If you think it was citizens that came up with the idea of defunding the precincts and the police department, you're an idiot. And instead of these people telling you, let's get national legislation to retrain these officers to make sure that they not only know the rules of engagement, but they also know the Constitution, they're telling you to defund the police departments. It's dumb as fuck. We know officers do dumb shit, we know that. But we know that there are tons of good officers that do a lot of good shit as well. You quick to tell the police they work for you, you pay their salary, but then you're going outside and you're destroying the same fucking police cars that you fucking pay for, and the same fucking buildings that you pay for and had built. Jackasses. And the only thing that's going to happen from defunding the police force is that blacks and brown people and other poor folks in these poor communities won't have police departments to help them when crime arises, because crime will fucking rise. Rapes and murders will occur.
Alright. So, I actually agree with most of what he says. I don't think it's quite... when people talk about the Illuminati, people say common sense. Yeah, well, that's lacking these days, isn't it, Ellen? But when people talk about the Illuminati and stuff, at the end of the day, I think that's a bit of an overblown term. It's this deep state. It's the military-industrial complex. It's the same people that we've since realised were actually spying on Trump. It's, it's Comey, it's Hillary, or Killary as you like to call her. It's this Jeffrey Epstein. It's all these sort of rich, powerful elites. Now, at the end of the day, I also do find it very interesting that these riots are predominantly happening in democratic cities. And, yeah, he is a smart man. And they've come out and said now that the people that were rioting or protesting won't face charges. Won't face charges. So, we have this one. We also do have some good news too, but anyway. I think it was it Minnesota? Los Angeles facing lawsuit by the Civil American Liberties of Union, blah, 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 Black Lives, over mass curfew amidst the city's attorney's office said Monday that it would not drag thousands of curfew violations through the court system, right? Now, that's just LA. LA is not doing it. But I think it was also, was it Minnesota or Minneapolis? I think it was Minneapolis, actually. Let me... I can't seem to find the article on that now either. It's funny how this stuff all gets memory hold, isn't it? But yeah, I think it was Minneapolis was saying that the people that broke curfew, not broke curfew, the people that were rioting and looting won't actually face charges. Let me see if I can find it on Twitter. Now, Aviemi, while I look for this, has gone through and done a video where he actually talked to the protesters in Melbourne, which is his local area, and actually asked them about starts with J. Was it Jocelyn or whatever it may? What's her name? The white Australian that was killed. We did have the video. We'll play this for a bit while I look for this stuff.
In Melbourne, Australia. Now we've come here to ask some basic questions because we're in a COVID crisis at the moment, restrictions. Anybody can be fined for going to work, but 40,000 people have descended on the city for the death of an African American in Minnesota at the hands of a white police officer. So, do any of them even know Justine Damon's name?
Justine Damon, that's who it was. I blanked on the name there, guys. Sorry about that.
The Australian woman that was murdered by the same police force. Let's find out. She got shot dead by an African American. Is that just as bad or not?
No, it's not. No, it's not. No, it's not.
It's just shit, the amount of people that are like, all lives matter. It's like, yeah, okay.
Does all lives matter?
Not right now.
Why do you think no one ever protested like this? 40,000 people in the city for somebody who's not even Australian. But when Justine Damon was shot dead, and she doesn't have a criminal history, why do you think that is?
Well, I'd have to say that's a bit of white supremacy, is it not? You know, that's not. I mean,
Why is it white?
I love his face when she says it's WS. He's like, huh? What? Are you serious? Are you joking me right now? He's like, just like, what?
Supremacy.
Well, because she's white. Because she's white. She's white.
Do you know how many white Australians have died in police custody?
I don't really care, to be honest.
Are you arguing with the statistic, or you just don't like it?
I think we need to talk to people of colour and get their voices.
I'm a person of colour.
He is a person of colour. What are you guys doing?
In America, the statistic for white people to die at the hands of police is much higher than the rate of... No?
I don't really. We're going to go.
You don't care about facts? Can I ask you guys, which dog matters more, the black one or the brown one? Have you heard of a woman called Justine Damon?
Yeah.
Who's she?
He just said he heard of her, right? Yeah. All right, who is she?
No, I haven't.
Have you heard of her?
No.
How you going, mate?
Have you heard of it? No, I haven't. No, I haven't really heard of her. Sorry, guys. Yeah.
Are you an anti-fascist?
Oh, fuck off, Harvey.
But, mate, I'm a person of colour. You've just used your white privilege to silence a person of colour.
I love Harvey. Alright, so at the end of the day, there's that. I can't find the video. I can't find the article I was talking about earlier. I've been tweeting about this stuff all week, guys. If you're not following me on Twitter, you really should. But, yeah, we have a lot of fun on there, don't we? But, yeah, there was an article saying that the people that were protesting and rioting were not going to go through and we're not going to be charged. We're not going to be facing charges. So, yeah, there's that. Now, obviously, that's the question that that I mentioned before. If it was just a police brutality thing, why is it the fact that Justine was not mentioned, right? Why was it that she's not mentioned if it's just a police brutality thing, right? So we know it's not a police brutality thing. We know it's not a black thing because they don't care about the black officers that were killed or the black shopkeepers that were killed. Here they are literally looting black businesses, right? So it's not that. At the end of the day, and like I say, it's the... Let me see if I can find the article. I think it was on YouTube. I think it was Andrew Bolt was talking about it. Oh wow, did they even take this video down? Jesus, so much is memory hold right now. Oh no, hang on, maybe. Hang on, I have to go back further, maybe. I can't seem to find it. Let me just have a look for the article. Communist Chinese runs Melbourne Black Lives Matter rally. Yeah, I can't seem to find the article on it. Can't really seem to find the article on anything these days. Bloody YouTube and Google. Let's try this one. Oh, it helps if I actually spell it correctly. Duh. So, maybe this is it. Bloody ads. Yep, here it is here. Alright. So it was Andrew Bolt. It was on Bolt Report.
In Sydney tonight, protesters marched on the US Embassy protesting about the killing of George Floyd in America. And organisers also borrowed from America the Black Lives Matter slogan and say this is not just about Floyd's death, but Aboriginal deaths in custody.
We will not tolerate! Black deaths in custody! Black deaths in custody! We are all brothers! We are all brothers! Every single life matters! Every single life matters! Black lives matter! Black lives matter!
As I said, if you're a white prisoner, you're just as likely to die in jail as a black prisoner. So, not quite sure what's going on here. But get this too, leading the event is an organiser from the Australian Communist Party who identifies as Aboriginal, Kieran Stewart Ashton. Communism, as I said, this really is a front for another attack on capitalism
and that's where he starts talking about it. And that's what my point is that I think what this is all about, I don't think this is Black Lives Matter. Well, I do think that they're involved. What I think this is, right, you have Antifa who are running around, smashing up places, dismantling businesses, attacking people that are all races and all colour. And Antifa wants to bring in this anarchy sort of communist sort of agenda, right? They're very heavily into the communism. That to me is what it's actually about. That's what this whole situation is. I don't know if it was a false flag to start with. I find it very interesting that the police department is sort of sitting there going on about, you know, wearing bulletproof vests, what they're doing to the body just seems to be not professional. There's a lot of questions that need to be asked about that. But at the end of the day, UK has a son who is in need for testimony. Yeah. Tommy Robinson. I got to talk about him because something else has came out about him. Tommy Robinson was right. That guy that touched his kid in the swimming pool, he's actually been charged with that M word, that bad M word that, you know, happens when you touch little kids. So Tommy was right about that guy the whole time, actually, to be honest. But yeah, so at the end of the day, but that's another video I'll talk about. And there's also going to be a video that goes up after this, guys. Was supposed to go up beforehand, but it just didn't get there. But that's what I say this is all about. This to me is, I think there's a few different fractions here working all at once. I think you have the Antifa guys who are going through trying to smash, trying to loot, trying to burn the places down because they want to bring in this communism. I think you have the Democratic Party who is setting up these false flags because they're trying to use these racial riots to bring tension into America, so that they can subdivide people and get people used to the idea of rioting in case Trump wins in 2020. I reckon if Trump wins, we're going to have riots. And also go through and divide people. If the Democrats can divide people into these groups and make out that America is racist, they might actually have a chance of winning the election because they'll start playing on this whole America's racist. Look how racist America has become since Trump has been in power. So at the end of the day, I think at the end of the day, that's what the Democrats are aiming for. But I think there's 2 or 3 major groups here that are going through. they're going through and they're talking about the Antifa guys. They want, obviously, anarchy. They want their system brought in. They want communism brought in, so they're obviously smashing up small businesses to do that. You have the deep state, which is obviously going through, trying to subdivide people, build racial tensions and stuff like that. And then you have the peaceful protesters, who are just the ones who are being caught in the middle of this. They're being brainwashed, or there are some serious concerns. Yes, there are concerns about some police brutality that happens on a wide spectrum. And I think that at the end of the day, there are people who want to go through and... I can't say that word, Derek. But yeah, trying to keep the monetization. But I think it's a lost cause with this video. But yeah. There was a third group who just want to go through and want to protest police brutality, who have been swept up into this whole mindset that, that this is a racist thing. Which, like I say, 2 out of the 4 cops... one of them was African American and the other was Mexican. So how racist do you think they're going to be? But just very quickly, we'll go through and we'll talk about some of the other stuff that's also happened. So we'll try and work our way backwards. So we've talked about that, we talked about that, we talked about that, we've talked about that. So we've talked about that. Blaze TV has put out this, biggest cover-up of 2020 from Slightly Offensive. I have started watching it, and this is something that Ellen has actually tagged me in. I have started watching it. It does go for 23 minutes. I haven't finished it. I have retweeted it, but yeah, it's something that obviously if you guys want to check out as well. 23 police officers injured during violent protests this week. So at the end of the day, obviously, they have confirmed the officers were hospitalised. This is over in the UK. After their horse in yesterday chaos with 10 officers injured overall. Many of the 20 officers have been injured policing the protest this week. So you have Justine Damond, the media spin, constructing a racist narrative in the name of fighting racism. But like I say, they don't talk about it. So if this is a police brutality, why not talk about that? Looters murdered retired Saint police officer. Captain David Dorm at the city pawn shop filmed it on Facebook Live and then looted the store. Now we have actually found out the 7 images of the police, the 7 images of the suspects the police are looking for. They all seem to have something in common. What do you guys think? Like, they all just seem to have something in common there. Like, there's one suspect, there's another suspect there, another suspect there. Keith, yeah, we're going to talk about the Democrat leaders in a minute. They just all seem to be, Raw video of teen girl crying over sister's death. A protester shot my sister, not the police. Well, she's probably going to get doxxed later, but anyway, she hasn't already. Disturbing video. 2 female NYPD cops stand down. One runs away and abandons her partner, and a loud robbery at knife point. So that happened. All rioters, arsonists, looters, and St. Louis freed from jail without... Okay, so here it is. This is what we're talking about. Breitbart. So all rioters, arsonists, and looters have been released from jail in St. Louis, Missouri, without facing charges thus far by the city prosecutor. Although rioters in St. Louis this week, only 36 individuals were arrested for rioting, looting, and committing arsons. The St. Louis Post-Dispatch confirmed that all those arrested, though, have been released from jail without charges against them. So at the end of the day, if you want to go through and obviously encourage people to keep rioting and looting, obviously the best thing you can do is not charge them with anything. We do have the Amazon burning situation here when the Amazon warehouse caught fire. Well, it was actually a facility that shipped Amazon packages. It was like a outsourced company. Now, this has nothing to do with the riots, okay? I saw a lot of people talking about this at the time. No, this is not riot based. This was a internal fire that started, and yeah. Firearms erupt at Amazon distribution center in Riots. Oh, that's weird. Oh, fire alarm. Yep, okay, yeah, sorry. Fire destroyers linked to Amazon. Okay, yes, there's a bit of that. So, Chris Cuomo demands to know where it says protesters must be peaceful, and then gets a lesson on the Constitution. St. Louis is a Democrat ran. Oh, wow. Okay, it's just making it. Yeah. CNN host Chris Cuomo said in a law school graduate and a licensed attorney, but he apparently does not know what the First Amendment says. So it does actually say people peacefully to assemble and petition the government. So it doesn't say anything there about they have to or they're allowed to riot. Black Lives Matter protesters set to ignite across Australia. So obviously we had that situation here as well. Black Democrat slams riots, applauds curfew. This is no protest, this is anarchy. Seems like it was something that maybe Antifa was involved with. So here's the murder of blacks and whites in the US per million members of the murder's race. So whites killed by blacks was at 9.83%. Blacks killed by whites at 0.77%. Whites killed by whites at 10.22%. And blacks killed by blacks was at 53.94%. Now, at the end of the day, yeah, it's in the Constitution. Yeah, tell me about it, right? Even I know that, and I'm not even American. But at the end of the day, I've seen some people turn around and say, you know, these figures don't take into account population limits and stuff like that, blah, blah, blah. Even if that's true, which I don't think it is, there's still a huge difference between these two groups. These groups here and this group here. If it was just about Black Lives Matter and stuff like that, why have they gone through and why don't they care about this? You had 12 people have problems coming on live YouTube. Why do you still only have 10 watching? Lol. I've had 12 people have problems coming onto this live. Really? Where does it say they've had problems coming in? You mean move to YouTube? Is that what you guys are talking about? Yeah. But yeah, so if it was about Black Lives, let me know in the comments what you guys are talking about there. But yeah, at the end of the day, if this was just about Black Lives Matter, then why don't they care about that large percentage there? Sports writer seemingly cheers Minnesota's burning during riots. Now he's panicking as riots hit close to home. Ask YouTube. Yeah, we're being suppressed, guys. We know that very well here. Yeah, we know that very well. So, interesting thing, right? Chris Martin Palmer wrote, "Burn that something or other down, burn it all down." And then when they came to him, they just attacked our sister community down the street. It's a gated community and they tried to climb the gates. They had to beat them back and destroy Starbucks. And are now in front of my building. Get these animals TF out of my neighborhood. Go back to where you live. My TV won't bring this on live. Really? Wow. Maybe it's because we're talking about the riots. Yeah, I did actually. I think you and I are talking about that as before. White thugs attack African American officer. They seem to be wearing Antifa bandanas. What do you guys think? Look at that one there. Looks like an Antifa bandana. And then they ran away when he pulled out a gun. What a shock. St. Louis police captain killed by looters at pawn shop. So we've talked about that for a bit. So this has to be the funniest thing of all, right? This is the funniest. Is this? Here he is, cheering them on, right? You know, yeah, way to go.
Why are you on We're on your side! We're on your side! Holy shit!
We're on your side! We're on your side, mate! Why? Why are you doing this to us? It's like they don't care. David Dorm, yeah, rip, yeah. I've been very vocal on Twitter about that situation, but anyway. Rioters hate police. Rioters throw garbage at man's car. Man comes after rioters with weapons. Rioters call the police.
Yo, call the police. Call the police.
Somebody call the police.
You wanna throw shit at my car? Yeah, run!
I love the fact they're like, call the police! You're going down. It hasn't moved much in the past, you know, whatever. So, yeah.
Yo, call the police.
Call the police! Call the police! He's coming back after we just threw stuff at him. And obviously we're saying that, and then there's that, and obviously something that Ellen's just mentioned too is the police, the mayor who was severely red-pilled. Let me see if I can find that video. I think it's right up here. So we do have this. This is one of the officials for the area. I believe it was, anyway. So there's something that Ellen's just sent through. Here he is, government official, holding the Antifa handbook, the unofficial handbook. So, you know, that's obviously someone that you want in your government, in your parliament. Where is... Here it is here. This is the best thing ever. You can actually see this guy. Now this is the mayor of Minneapolis. Sorry, I can't pronounce things. You can actually see him get red-pilled in real time. Never retweeted it, I should. Right.
You have to take responsibility here. I've been coming to grips with my own brokenness in this situation, my own failures, my own shortcomings, and I know there needs to be deep-seated structural reform in terms of how the department operates. The systemically racist system needs to be revamped. The police union needs needs to be put in its place. We need to make sure that everything from the union contract to the way that the arbitration functions to the way that our officers and the culture in the department behaves, it all
Jacob Fry, we have a yes or no question for you. Hey! Hey, fist up, y'all. Fist up. Jacob Fry, we have a yes or no question for you. Yes or no, will you commit to defunding Minneapolis Police Department? What did I say? We don't want no more police. Is that clear? We don't want people with guns toting around in our community, shooting us down. You have an answer? It is a yes or a no. It is a yes or a no. Will you defund the Minneapolis Police Department? All right, be quiet, y'all. Be quiet, because it's important that we actually hear this. It's important that we hear this, because if y'all don't know, he's up for re-election next year. If y'all don't know, he's up for re-election next year. And if he says no, guess what the fuck we gonna do next year? What'd you say?
I do not support the full abolition of police.
All right, get the fuck out of here. Go.
Red pilled.
Go home, Jacob, go home. 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 Go home, Jacob.
Literally red pilled in real time. You see it about here. It's about here. He's like, oh god, these people are insufferable.
Here. To hear this. It's important that we hear this, because if y'all don't know, he's up for re-election next year.
He's like, oh my god. Oh my god.
If y'all don't know, he's up for re-election next year. And if he says no...
That this chick, what she looks like she needs to defund is a Starbucks. This chick, I hate picking on people's looks, but she needs to stop going and funding the cafeteria, okay? Go and get your ass a treadmill.
That's what the fuck we gonna do next year.
Other videos show them throwing things at him as he walks out.
What'd you say?
I do not support the full abolition of police.
All right, get the fuck out of here. Go, get out of here. Go home, Jacob, go home. 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 Go home, Jacob.
I must admit, he has got a set on him. He is, as you see here, right, as he's leaving, you can see the amount of people that are around him. If they were all to rush him, she needs a lover. Wow. Wow. If they were to rush him, there is no way he is walking out of this. He has got a set on him for saying no. I'll give him that. I'll give him that much credit. You have a set on you for saying no when you have this many people right next to you that are screaming at you that want to defund the police, and you're like, no, I don't support that. Like, I know you've got guards. I know you've got bodyguards and stuff like that. I get that. But dude, they aren't going to be able to survive you. They aren't going to be able to survive you if this many people turned on you. So you have a set. I will give you full granted for that. But yeah. Ellen's actually saying there's another video where you see him. He actually gets stuff thrown at him when he leaves. So, you know, yeah. Here it is here. So yeah, someone threw something, but it's not really that bad, really, to be honest. They even turned around and said, "Don't throw anything." Yeah, they even said, "Don't throw." So I'm glad they did that. So this photo here, Alan was actually saying, here's the Attorney General of Minnesota, Keith Edison. That's who it was. So this is the Attorney General. This is the guy that's responsible for like who gets charged, who doesn't get charged, holding an Antifa book. And now they're claiming they're not going to press charges. Was it Minnesota? Was going to not press charges against the rioters. I wonder if there might be some sort of bias in that. But yeah. Yeah, they did say don't throw, so I'm glad they did that. And I'm glad they didn't attack him too, because that would just look really, really bad. But that's the question about this, all this stuff, right? Everything that's happening here. This is all in the vast majority in democratic states. Hells Angels have threatened Antifa and Antifa cancelled. Yeah, they did cancel a rally. Yeah, they did too. Like these are all mostly democratic states that are actually having these problems. So, you know, it does make you wonder, you know, like these police brutality. You know, like it's everywhere. There are being white people, black people, brown people. Everybody gets killed by the cops at some point. And at the end of the day, it's everybody that does. Everybody is affected by it. It's just some people want to focus on race more than focus on a problem. At the end of the day, I don't think defunding our police is a good thing. I don't think it's going to work. Tim Pool has actually gone through and actually had a video about this. I'll just quickly see if I can find... Tim Pook. Oh, it still came up anyway. So he went through and cited... So he went through and cited this case of... was it that video? He has about 3 channels now. Trying to find the video Tim's uploaded. I did it a few hours ago. It was only a new video that came up. See if I can find it from his channel. Maybe Timcast? Videos? No, it's not Timcast. So it must be the Tim Pool channel. Is it this video they're talking about? There's actually a case where they went through and did something similar. Tim Pool channel. That's what I thought. Has he removed it? I can't find where he's... I can't find that video now. Maybe he took it down? Oh, here it is. Okay. It was on the Timcast channel. So we have the Murray Hill riots. What I might do, guys, we might just play a little bit of this. I'm sure Tim won't mind. Guys, if you're not subscribed to Timcast, please do. So it's about 5 minutes into it.
Explain what exactly will happen when they get rid of the police. I bring to you now the story of the Murray Hill riot. This is an amazing Wikipedia entry talking about the Montreal's Night of Terror. Now, I also want you to realize we're talking about peaceful old Canada, baby. Now, this is 1969. Fine. It was a police strike. Unfortunately, you can't read it all because of the way I have the image cropped, but I can read this. I'm going to read it to you. So it was 16 hours of unrest because the police, for one day, went on strike. And immediately, the city purged itself. I kid you not, this is a crazy story. The first thing I want to do is read to you from this entry how Steven Pinker describes it.
Yeah, he actually has 3 channels now. He has Timcast, Timpool, and the Tim IRL, which is the live stream. I'm subscribed to all 3, and guys, if you're not subscribed, please go do, because those 3 channels are amazing.
You might know Steven Pinker. He's a very influential individual.
He's a little bit more of a fence sitter than me. He's a little bit more centre-left. I try to keep more in the centre or centre-right, but he still does an amazing job.
I believe he's like an intellectual dark web type. And he talks about how he was an anarcho-left.
We're going to go now, aren't we? Yep. But yeah, that Murray Hill riots. I might do a video talking about it. If you guys want me to talk about it, let me know in the comments. Hannity gave me a wrench. Oh, really? Wow. The Hannity channel, you say there, Derek. That's pretty cool, man. That's pretty cool. That's cool indeed. But guys, that's basically where we're going to leave it today. Look, I don't know. I don't know about you guys, but to me, this whole situation, it seems really, I don't know. There seems like there's a lot of things at play here. And this is where I get a bit of a worry, because we got cops with bulletproof vests. They're not going through. They're not treating him, obviously, with him being unconscious or a body. There's conflicting reports about that. We weren't sure if he was dead at the time. But they're not treating the body with respect or with any sort of dignity. They're not checking for CPR or for anything, or any of the vital situations or anything like that. We have bricks that are mysteriously turning up days before the events. We have, the Communist Party that is going through, that's leading the rallies in Australia. And obviously we also now found out there was a report that was done by Melly Weaver. Let me see if I can find that very quickly. So she's gone through and done an undercover investigation into this group, this communist group. Apparently there was a preview that's happening in a few hours, so we might have to go and watch that when it comes out. So I'll be in the comments for that probably. Okay, so where's the video she put up? She put up a video yesterday, and it looks like it's down again. It was this undercover investigative. So maybe she took it down and then was reloading it up again. It was this sun group that she was talking about. Yeah, what happened? Why is this video gone? So it was there yesterday, but it's been taken down, or she's removed it herself. Something. So yeah, I have to find out what happened to that. I might reach out and find out and ask her what happened. Oh, hey buddy, how are you, man? Good. Link for what? Sure. What's this video, sorry? Oh, from Weaver. Just waiting for him to DM me the links, guys. Whereabouts did you post? Alright, cool. Yep. Links. Yeah, okay. So do you know what happened to this video? What happened to it originally? Was it taken down or... Yeah, okay. So this is the video that this was the video, guys, that was put up yesterday. For some reason, it's no longer there, and it's been set as preview, so maybe they took it down to preview it. I'm not quite sure. Yeah, I've got the BitChute one. I was talking about on YouTube, yeah. But in this video, they actually go through and they talk about the undercover organization, and it's this Sunrise group. Now, they apparently are a communist group, and they're the ones that apparently are planning and funding a lot of the Black Lives Matter researchers, protests in America as well. So it's not only in Australia, this Sunrise movement. It's not only in Australia that we have the Communist Party leading it, but also we have it over in America as well. So, yeah. Move on. No, it's alright. But yeah, it's the Sunrise movement. So guys, I suggest everybody go and watch this video when it comes out in 13 minutes. We're going to wrap up here anyway. But yeah, this video goes through and outlines a lot of it. So yeah, it's definitely interesting to watch. Because yeah, apart from that, it's probably we're going to wrap up today. Guys, I want to thank everybody who's been here today. Derek has been here. Ellen's been here. Who else was it that was here? Lee was here. Raymond was here. Yeah, everybody that called in, jumped in. I'm sorry if I missed a lot of the conversation in chat. CCP, yeah, it's Communist Party, yeah. But yeah, I've tried to keep up as much as I can. But guys, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. If you are catching this at a later date, obviously, you know, hit that subscribe button. Feel free to obviously hit that little bell notification. You know when we go live. Make sure you click all. Well, it's supposed to anyway. It tends to not still tell people, but regardless. Oh, moveon.org. Oh, right. Yep. Okay, thanks. I thought you were saying to move on to the next subject. But guys, yeah, that's where we're going to wrap up today. So let me know what your thoughts are in that comment section below. Thanks everybody who's obviously jumped in today. Everybody who's been sending me links. Guys, obviously follow me on Twitter. We have a pretty good conversation on Twitter. So feel free to jump into that as well. And there will be a video that's going up literally right after this, guys. I'm uploading it right as we finish this. I'll be hitting the upload button. And that's going to be talking about the mainstream media and a fake narrative that they were pushing the past few days. And that 75-year-old, 77-year-old man that was pushed over by the police, we might have uncovered something that a lot of people have missed. So check out that video when it goes live. Apart from that, guys, thanks everybody who's been in tonight. Have a great night. Enjoy yourselves. I will see you probably in Melly Weaver's chat. I'll be in there watching that video again. Thanks everybody who's jumped in, and we'll see you guys soon. Thanks everybody. Have a great night. Enjoy. See you guys.